Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines are holding a distribution in Rizal province to hand out 1,500 aid packs. In Taiwan, young people are returning to Hualien's indigenous Dalampu tribe to help villagers obtain organic certification for daylilies. And with Tzu Chi's help and care, Zhang Dong from China's Guizhou is making a quick recovery after a car accident last October. First up, to help flood victims in Rizal province of the Philippines, Tzu Chi held work relief programs to rebuild local communities. Tzu Chi volunteers also went to the severely hit Kasiklahan village to distribute 1,500 aid packs. To show his gratitude for Tzu Chi's help, the mayor of Rodriguez municipality joined the relief work, and one flood victim made flower wreaths for Tzu Chi volunteers.
Tzu Chi's work relief program graces the headlines of the largest newspaper in the Philippines. Despite the praise, Tzu Chi continues on with its relief work.
Tzu Chi volunteers bring 1,500 aid packs to residents living in the most severely hit areas. Residents have been excited about Tzu Chi's upcoming visit.
Tzu Chi helps a lot.
Leaving no one behind, Tzu Chi volunteers also visit a couple living on a riverbed. The wife is 3 months pregnant. Though they were lucky to escape the floods, they have no running water or electricity. The clothes, blankets and instant rice in the aid pack are what they need the most right now.
Put the rice into the bowl, add hot water and put on the lid. Wait 20 minutes and it's ready.
Elfido's wife, who is still taking her post-childbirth rest, is also thankful to Tzu Chi. She received Tzu Chi's help after a fire in May. This time, she carried Tzu Chi aid pack when escaping from the floods.
The mud flooded very high and I saw this Tzu Chi aid pack. My wife said it's very important because all my children's documents are inside.
The blanket covering Elfido's daughter was also given by Tzu Chi. This time around, Tzu Chi volunteers bring packs of aid supplies. In appreciation of Tzu Chi's help, locals are committed to spreading Tzu Chi's ideals here.
We can buy things when they are broken. Fortunately, we are all safe and now you are here to help us rebuild our lives.
Besides aid packs, the flood victims also take buckets, straw mats, and the cleaning supplies. The municipal mayor of Rodriguez joins Tzu Chi's distribution work.
Tzu Chi really helps us a lot. Thank you very much.
One local even presents a handmade wreath to show her gratitude.
Other charity groups only give a little, while Tzu Chi gives a lot. It's really helpful.
A pedicab driver echoes Tzu Chi's great love and decides to help Tzu Chi volunteers deliver aid packs.
The Chinese come here to help us. As a Filipino, there's no reason why I shouldn't be part of it.
For the Filipinos, everyone can feel the selfless love of Tzu Chi, and Taiwan is no longer a foreign place for them.
Thank you, talaga.
Staying in the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers are continuing their efforts to care for the flood victims. At a local shelter, volunteers bring emergency cash to a family whose house collapsed. In the Philippines, Tzu Chi usually distributes aid supplies, and this is the first time volunteers are handing out emergency cash. Upon receiving the consolation money, many flood victims were moved to tears.
Inside the temporary shelter, children are excited to see the blue and white uniforms of Tzu Chi volunteers. The flood victims are living in a temporary shelter. To make sure they have better care, Tzu Chi volunteers bring medicine and aid supplies to the local community. Upon hearing that Marisa's house collapsed, Tzu Chi volunteers visit her with emergency cash. Marisa's elder sister also received Tzu Chi's aid pack. Both of them are moved by the timely help.
Maraming salamat po sa cutie. Maraming salamat.
This elderly woman's roof was blown off when the disaster struck. She did not expect that anyone would bring her help so quickly.
This is the blessing from Master Chen Yan. Don't give up.
Facing difficulties brought by the disaster, the Filipinos, however, always look on the bright side. And with Tzu Chi's assistance, they will always have the strength to carry on.
Myanmar is another country that suffered severe flooding from torrential rainfall, but at the end of July. Today, though nearly 3 weeks have passed, many areas around the Bago region are still submerged underwater. Prior to holding a relief distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out disaster surveys on August 14th to gain a deeper understanding of the situation, and also hand out distribution coupons on August 18th to those in need. Not only are many residents still seeking shelter in local temples, but the poor conditions also mean that the elderly people and children are now facing the threat of infectious disease. Here at Bago region of Myanmar, though the flooding occurred over 20 days ago, many areas are still submerged underwater. Local residents are forced to travel using rafts, while others can only swim to their destination.
For those who are capable, they would stay at home. But that also means higher living expenses, because they need to travel in and out via boat to buy rice, and all of the food prices have gone up.
In areas where waters have receded, children wade the waters to go to school. Many residents are still living in temporary shelters. However, these temples can only provide a meal each day and have no healthcare resources available to treat those feeling ill.
His grandchild was only 2 to 3 days old and passed away after the flood from the flu. Now that they are receiving a distribution coupon from us, he is happy but also sad.
Tzu Chi volunteered once again to survey the disaster site and hand out distribution vouchers to flood victims. Their love and care deeply moves the residents.
I hope to join the volunteer work because I don't want to sit around and just sleep or eat the whole day. It will be great if I can give to help others.
Tzu Chi volunteers seized the opportunity to explain to parents and children at their monthly medical and educational seminar of the current state of the disaster zone, and many have donated their love to help the needy. Indigenous tribes in Taiwan's mountain areas are often faced with the fall in population as the younger generation relocates to cities in search of a better life. However, the residents of Hualien's Dalambu tribe came together 8 years ago to plant organic daylilies, a project that has attracted young people to return home to help. Today, the Dalambu tribe is proud to say they have even obtained international organic certification for their daylilies. Let's take a look.
When I come across people who are older than me, I will refer to them as brothers and sisters, so we may seem like one family to you.
Busily preparing for the harvest festival of his tribe is 30-year-old Wang Jinglong, the deputy director of Dalambu Youth Association, who decided to return to Hualien City.
At least, living in the city, I'm able to pay my bills and provide for my family. At first, I was worried, but then I realized I can still make ends meet. It's just the living standards are not as high as before. We all have different choices in life.
Most of the younger generation all left their hometown in search of a better life. Arriving at the tribe's Development Association office, 33-year-old Wang Pei-en, who grew up in the city and returned to the tribe 5 years ago, is putting together a daylily flower project before going to the harvest festival.
Coming back here, I felt like I was a balloon. All the pressure I built up living in the city was like a balloon slowly being blown up.
As one of the younger generation, Pei-en says he does not want to end up working day and night in Taipei and become money conscious.
It's always hard to find a parking spot. You always have to eat out, and every time we go out, we spend money. You get the best mobile phones and sound systems, or better a living environment where you don't get happiness. Coming back to the tribe, it feels like other people's kitchen are your own. We all felt warmly welcomed when we came back here.
Though Wang Pei-en is the director of DaAi Development Association, he only receives a salary of some $300 a month, and yet is responsible for a variety of duties. Seeing the elderly people in his tribe working together is what inspired Pei-en to stay in the village.
At first, we used a really stupid organic method, and that is to weed by hand, with just one person doing the weeding.
The path to organic farming of daylilies hasn't been an easy one. Nevertheless, with patience and determination, the tribe's hard work finally paid off after 8 long years.
We spent nearly 8 years in trying to get international organic certification from Europe. When the certificate arrived, I was like, wow, it's all in English. The grandma opposite me was already in tears, and I thought to myself, her language ability is really great. But that wasn't actually the case. She felt all the hard work was worthwhile. I was moved to tears too. We realized that we indigenous people, coming together and united in our efforts, could be recognized in the world for our work.
The international recognition not only helps provide job opportunities for the villagers, but also brings the DaAi tribe closer together.
I'm really proud of our tribe and our people. Living here is just really wonderful.
In our series of feature reports on Love is Around, today we learn the story of Zhao Dong, a native of China's Guizhou province who married a Taiwanese. Zhao Dong's husband passed away due to illness, and last October she was involved in a car accident that left her paralyzed on her left side. To care for Zhao Dong, her parents rushed over from Guizhou to Taiwan. For the next 6 months, Zhao's parents helped her with rehabilitation. Before their visa expired and had to return home, the parents thanked Tzu Ji, who reached out a helping hand in times of need.
We were anxious and helpless. We couldn't do anything other than grieve. My wife shed a lot of tears when we were still in China.
When we received the news, we were in shock. It felt like the world was coming to an end.
During October of last year, Mr. and Mrs. Zhao received the news that their daughter had an accident. The two were so worried that they flew to Taiwan.
When we arrived at the hospital, we were in shock. My daughter was almost in a vegetative state.
Zhao Dong was in bed, couldn't speak, and had to wear a diaper. Instead of grieving, Mr. and Mrs. Zhao decided to be strong. Thanks to hard work of the family, Zhao Dong is finally able to stand again. With their visa expiring soon, Zhao Dong's mother has to teach Zhao Dong to be independent.
Slow down a bit, don't cut it too thick, and make sure not to cut your fingers.
Mrs. Zhao encourages her daughter to be strong and not to cry. She says that she can go home free of worries. She feels relieved to pass on the task to the Tzu Chi volunteers who have been by their side along the way. To express his thanks, Mr. Zhao took the time to write a letter.
The volunteers gave us unconditional love and care. We are very moved by their actions. This proves that when there is a disaster, Tzu Chi is always there. Yes, you will be better. You need to have the courage and believe that you will be better. Mom and I will support you no matter what. Don't give up.
他们怎么疼你？他们在后面都看过。大家都疼你，对不对？对。大家怎么帮忙你？都很用心的，谢谢了。
那种父爱啊，还有那一种真的是。
I'm touched by the love her parents give her. They came all the way from China and never complained that they were tired. The strong mind and the values they gave their daughter really touched me.
We are one family. The volunteers take our problem as theirs and think of ways to make everything better.
A life-changing experience that this family discovered the beauty of the world and the power of family ties.
Many volunteers initially come to Tzu Chi with more traditional ideas of how to pursue a prosperous and healthy life. This often includes offerings to gods in temples in the form of incense, joss paper, and sacrifices. Tzu Chi volunteer Cho Yi-Quan in Malaysia was one of the many who viewed his success in life as the result of keeping the gods happy with such actions. However, after attending a Tzu Chi retreat in Taiwan and subscribing to DaAi TV, he began to see how this belief system only brought more desires and problems. Now Cho has given up worshipping the gods with external objects and instead uses his heart and time to help others. Not only has his work and home life not suffered in the slightest, but he has also found life to be more meaningful as well. Let's hear his story.
From when I was young, we would see mediums whom we would ask for advice, or when we had problems, we would pray to the gods for help or drink blessed water in which we had burned a pepper talisman.
As long as you prayed to the gods, you would be protected. That was what Cho was taught when growing up. For much of life, he never questioned this belief.
We would offer a chicken or a pig. We were told that these sacrifices gave these animals a chance to be reborn. The other details I wasn't too clear about. I just followed along with what everyone else was doing. On important temple days, we would offer donations to buy incense. We would then write talisman that supposedly protected the family. We thought that was how the family would be protected, with the incense smoke bringing peace to everyone.
Although Cho enjoyed success at work and a loving family, he was still constantly asking the gods for favor.
At that time, I was ignorant and thought that there was really some kind of power that brought about my success. So I participated in the whole thing 100%.
2 years ago, following an introduction from a friend, Cho traveled to Taiwan, where he attended a Tzu Chi humanitarian camp. Seeing how volunteers did not pray to the gods was a revelation for him.
One Jin Shi aphorism states that when we are not in control ourselves, that is when we are most in danger. So when you use divination blocks to make decisions for your life, that is very dangerous.
In addition to leaving behind his superstitions, Cho also came to the understanding the importance of environmental protection and encouraged his friends to spend more time thinking about the earth.
他以前会带头讲啊，找人去买。
In the past, he would gather people together to buy incense or just paper to burn. Now he asks us not to buy these things. At the beginning, it was a bit hard to swallow. After a while, I understand that he was concerned about the environment. So now I'm doing the same thing and slowly learning from him.
Angela. Angela.
The act of praying for fortune only increases one's desires. Since putting down this habit, Cho finds that his heart is now attuned to working for others, and he is living a life with purpose and love.
In Malaysia, the Tamil Bukit Dara Primary School, located in Selangor's Sungai Buloh, has been the recipient of Tzu Chi Scholarship and Charity Aid since 2008. This year, subsidies were once again given to the school under the Tzu Chi School Campus Charity Program to help students with meals, transportation and tutoring. The result has been a marked improvement in the attendance rate and grades of the students, bringing teachers hope that the students will be able to continue on with their schooling in the future and use education as a way out of poverty. Here's more.
The Tamil Bukit Dara Primary School, located in Selangor's Sungai Buloh of Malaysia, first started receiving New Shoot Scholarship Aid in 2008. It was 2008, and it was thanks to the scholarships that I got to know the students at the school.
Here we held Tamil's first ever health check and health education class. After a whole series of events, we also took them to participate in the Buddha Day ceremony.
In 2012, thanks to Tzu Chi's school campus charity program, students here have received food, transportation, and after-school tutoring subsidies.
After a tutoring class was established for this class, the grades of the students started to get better. I think the 60-year students have the potential to pass the upcoming standardized tests.
With the continuation of these charity projects, volunteers once again returned to the school to discuss the results with teachers and students.
We found out that the teachers were extremely happy with the various subsidized programs we have in place. In the month or two that these programs have been in place, they have seen how these programs helped students.
In addition to getting a look at how the Tzu Chi program are helping students, the visit also gives students a chance to experience Tzu Chi's spirit of mutual love and assistance. We want them to know that they don't have it that bad compared to others. In other parts of the world, there are students that have it much worse. We use this message to motivate them. Tzu Chi hopes that the seed of love planted here today will one day blossom, and the teachers and students will pay that love forward.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of our show. Before celebrating the Chinese Valentine's Day today, the Huashan Social Welfare Foundation in Taichung shared their love with senior residents living in solitude by holding a small-scale music concert. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.